If you don't know me, I've been focused on building a new accelerator for startups that are scalable and non-VC backed. You can learn more at startstation.co. The reason I bring that up is that there's a story behind why I'm focused on scalable non-VC backed ventures. It's not just a random reason or just because there's too much attention on raising venture capital and creating new businesses. The latter is true, but it isn't the reason why StartStation exists. I believe we need many more great ventures. However, those ventures probably aren't what you think of at first. The ventures I think of are not ventures that are typical in Silicon Valley. They are ventures that think long term, are problem focused, and might not be that techie. The best example of this for me is ConvertKit. As ConvertKit says, ConvertKit is the go-to marketing hub for creators that helps you grow and monetize your audience with ease. It's mainly known to be an email newsletter tool specifically for creators. Think YouTubers, bloggers, or even podcasters. They strategize long-term by having a goal of paying creators a total of $1 billion, are completely focused on the problem of creators not being able to make a living, and they're techie, but not that techie. To help explain why ConvertKit is a favorite company of mine in more depth, let's jump into my first real experience with them at their conference, Craft and Commerce. Last summer, I was able to attend ConvertKit's conference a little bit on a whim. I had to make the decision to go about a month before it and did not know a single person going. I was going solo and knew that I had to actively network to make the most of it. Right out of the gate though, I knew networking wouldn't be that difficult. I was able to join meetups run by other creators, and the community actively invited others to join in on discussions. Just in the first night of the conference, I had met a handful of people that I still keep in touch with today. Throughout the entire weekend, I learned something from every type of person imaginable. I learned how people were building their email lists from other creators, how to do affiliate marketing better through vendors, and what this creator economy was all about in keynote talks. It changed how I viewed the creator economy and how I operate as a creator myself. I left the conference with community and actionable items for me to improve as a creator. While I was there though, I realized a few things. First, ConvertKit might be a newsletter company, but the community they've built around this product is incredible. Second, the approach and decisions ConvertKit were taking felt way different than what I was used to, especially after being in a high-stress startup environment just a few years ago. And third, we need more companies like this. ConvertKit is tackling a big problem with creators not being able to make a living, is scalable, and they're not stressed. The not stressed part was weird for me. Like, what do you mean you're not stressed about growth and all the chaos the world has been in these past few years? The team at ConvertKit just focused on the problem, growing sustainably, and taking care of its people. Now, yes, ConvertKit obviously takes care of creators in different ways and is paid by them. However, ConvertKit is elite at taking care of its own team. For the ConvertKit team, there's a lot of perks that you can see at a tech startup. Health coverage, home office equipment allowances, a learning budget, a conference budget, a bonus to even take vacation, a 401k matching, equity, and twice a year profit sharing distributions. Let's talk a little bit about that last point. This twice a year profit sharing is something that a normal tech startup cannot do. A tech startup that has venture capital backing is aiming to maximize shareholder value. It's a moonshot. Anyone in a VC-backed startup is hoping they can have equity that can be sold in an acquisition or in an IPO. It can be 5 to 10 years if you see that. It can be years before you see that bet pay off, if it pays off at all. Not all exits are equal in startup land. In ConvertKit's non-VC backed model, you get paid and rewarded for the work you are doing right now, and it's not a moonshot. These profit sharing checks are not small either. For example, in 2021, the average profit sharing amount per team member at ConvertKit was over $19,000 for the year. That can be a life-changing check, and you still have the upside of equity for the long-term growth of ConvertKit too, as you can earn equity in ConvertKit. ConvertKit can only do this because they do not have external stakeholders and are not on this crazy ride to try to be a billion-dollar company. Could they be that at some point? Sure, but it's not their measure of success. To me, that is so much healthier. It's less stress on the team, increases the chances of the company being impactful, and it helps with creating more economic equality. They're not just trying to make VCs money or LPs richer. If there are thousands or millions of businesses taking the approach ConvertKit is taking, what does this world really look like? To me, it looks like a world that has a lot more economic equality and has a lot of purpose-driven people. If money from businesses stay in a community and is rewarding the team that created that value, that has generational impact. A $19,000 profit sharing check is a down payment on a house, it's a new car, it's one heck of a family vacation. Plus, if a venture like ConvertKit is purpose-driven and as someone is working towards a meaningful purpose every day, that affects their own purpose too. People start working not for some fancy paycheck, but for solving particularly meaningful problems. I don't know about you, but I sure do believe we need more people focusing their careers on solving meaningful problems, not optimizing for how much is in their retirement account. A company like ConvertKit that is not venture capital backed and is purpose driven creates so much good. It solves a meaningful problem in helping creators to make a living and causes community impact that can never be fully measured. That to me is the definition of a great venture. Not how much a venture exited or how many employees they have. Those aren't all bad things, but we've over optimized for those metrics. Let's build more ventures like ConvertKit.